My fiancé seemed too lovely, and my family liked him, but I was horrified to learn about him and my little sister. As 28F, my family is wealthy. My parents started a thriving software company, and we live in a large house in an elite neighborhood. I've always been mindful of our privilege and sought to serve others with our riches. 3 years ago, I met my fiancé, Jake, 30M, at a charity banquet our family hosted for a local children's hospital. He was a catering company waiter. I saw him immediately. His beautiful blue eyes, sculpted jawline, and charismatic smile illuminated the room. I made excuses to talk to him all night. He was witty, kind, and interested in me beyond my family status. I bravely invited him to coffee after the event. He hesitated, saying he couldn't afford a luxury trip. I told him I'd be satisfied with a park walk. Jake told me about his past on our first date. As an orphan, he moved between foster homes. Despite his financial struggles, he was determined to succeed. He worked various part-time jobs while deciding on a profession. Jake quickly captivated me. This guy was so different from my regular dates. Humble, industrious, and kind. We started meeting regularly. Though we were from diverse backgrounds, we connected deeply. Jake made me laugh like no one else and inspired me to explore my talents outside of my family's business. First, my family was hesitant to meet Jake. His lack of schooling and employment possibilities worried my parents. They believed Jake was using me for money or prestige, but his warm demeanor and sense of humor won them over. He was usually kind and willing to help around the house. After seeing how happy he made me, my parents accepted our relationship and offered to help Jake find work. My younger sister, Mia, 18F, was the only one who disliked Jake from the start. She rarely looked or spoke to him. She'd give one-word answers and leave whenever Jake tried to talk to her. Mia and I have always shared a difficult connection. She's 10 years younger than me, and I was in college when she was old enough to connect. Mia was a surprise baby for my parents and grew up like an only kid. Her strong will and rebelliousness have always been traits, resisting our parents' expectations and growing up in their shadow. Mia acted out more as an adolescent. She skipped school, went to parties, and fought with our parents. Our age disparity and my hectic schedule made it hard for me to help her. Mia probably disliked me for being the perfect older sister, successful in school, in the family business, and in a serious relationship. Mia's attitude toward me worsened after Jake arrived. I repeatedly asked her about it, but she just shrugged and said she didn't like him. When I asked why, she said he gave her a horrible sense. I wondered if Mom was jealous of Jake's attention from our family or frightened about how he might change us. Over 2 years, tension persisted. Mia's attitude didn't change when Jake and I got engaged 6 months ago. She skipped all engagement parties. Both my dad and I were frustrated yet unsure what to do. We hoped Mia would change as she grew up. Jake felt hurt by Mia's behavior but tried to ignore it. He consistently complimented her and never forced her to talk to him. I noticed Mia's attitude toward Jake change a month ago. She suddenly became friendly with him. She'd welcome him and chat with him. First, I was thrilled. I assumed Mia had returned and was trying for me. I noticed several oddities, though. Only when Jake was present was Mia friendly. When he wasn't around, she'd darken and shift the subject if I mentioned him. I occasionally saw Mom looking at images of Jake and me with loathing. I heard Mia and Jake conversing in the kitchen one night. She laughed at his jokes and asked about his life. The flirty tone in her voice made me uncomfortable. Mia changed immediately when I entered. Making an excuse, she left hastily. Mia's actions confuse me. I think she's trying to make amends and accept Jake, but it feels strange. Her behavior when he's around and when he's not is frightening. She may have feelings for Jake and be struggling to deal with them. Mia ignores my attempts to discuss it. She thinks she's being nicer to Jake for me and I should be delighted. When I noted her behavior without him, she accused me of fantasizing and paranoia. Not sure what to think. I'm not sure if I'm overreacting and should just be thankful that Mia is trying with Jake. Maybe this is her maturing and attempting to fix our relationship, but I think something's wrong. I can't get the idea that Mia's new friendliness around Jake is a ruse. I've pondered telling Jake, but I'm unsure what to say. Seeing Mia like him finally makes him happy. If I'm incorrect, I don't want to damage that or make him uncomfortable around her. Jake has always been understanding of Mia's prior conduct, so I worry that voicing my concerns may make him doubt me. I've considered telling my folks, but I doubt they'd believe me. They may not want to upset Mia because they're pleased the tension has ended. Mia's mood swings and rebellion have always been difficult. I'm worried they'll disregard my concerns as another Mia problem. The whole thing stresses me out. I'm always on edge around Mia and Jake, looking for signals of trouble. It's souring our wedding planning. I scrutinize every interaction for signs about Mia's genuine sentiments and intentions. I waver on what to do. Should I follow my intuition and investigate Mia? Do I overreact to typical sibling interactions and create difficulties where none exist? Is my convoluted relationship with Mia clouding my judgment? I love Jake and want to marry him. But family is precious too. My sister and prospective husband having a problem is upsetting. I want everyone to get along and be happy. I've always thought Jake could help Mia connect with our parents. I worry that ignoring my suspicions may mean missing something significant. If Mia knows more about Jake than I do, what? What if her original dislike of him was sincere but I missed? What if she has inappropriate feelings for him and can't cope? I'm torn between my sister and fiancé. I don't want to accuse them without proof, but I also don't want to be naive if something's going on. I'm worried that ignoring this will cause worse issues later. The scenario may threaten my connection with Jake or my sister. I consider my relationship with Mia over time. I wonder whether I could have helped her more as she grew up. If we were closer, she might feel safe telling me what's going on. I regret not protecting her from familial expectations and potentially contributing to her inadequacy. I'm also questioning my connection with Jake. Not because I doubt his affections for me, but because I wonder if I hurried into things without thinking how it might affect my family. I love Jake's unusual worldview, but I'm learning it may cause more problems than I expected. I am divided between excitement for my future with Jake and fear over Mia's unresolved tension as my wedding approaches. I want my family to support me as I start my marriage, but I don't want to ignore my fears to keep the peace. Reddit AITA for suspecting my sister's abrupt shift in behavior toward my fiancé? Should I pursue or drop it? Do I overreact to regular family dynamics, or is my gut right? What would you do in my situation? How can I handle this without hurting Jake or Mia? Update. As I listened, my blood became chilly. Jake threatened Mia with exposing her OnlyFans account to our family if she didn't comply. Mia cried, pleading him to delete the downloaded videos. I was stunned. My brain tried to make sense of what I was hearing. My beloved Jake was blackmailing my little sister, and Mia was on OnlyFans? Too much to take in. I listened for a while, shaking. Jake's voice was wicked, nothing like the gentle, kind man I trusted. Mia sounded scared and defeated. It was evident they'd had this conversation before. I became tired of hearing. I hung up the phone and sat shocked for several minutes. I texted Jake that I was sick and needed to cancel our plans. He offered to check on me. I barely looked at Jake when he came. I grumbled about needing rest and shoved him out the door. I sobbed after he departed. How could I have been blind? About an hour later, Mia returned. I breathed deeply and told her everything. I overheard her automobile talk with Jake. Mia paled and cried. Mia told me everything through tears. Jake had sexually harassed her since they met. When alone, he would make inappropriate comments, touch her, and corner her in rooms. Mia stated she tried to notify me early on, but I ignored her concerns. She imagined no one believing her over Jake, who enchanted the whole family. Mia, 16, spontaneously joined OnlyFans 2 years ago. Before deleting the account, she released 3 videos and realized her error. She thought it was over. Jake found the account somehow. The videos he downloaded were used to blackmail Mia for months. Jake threatened to show the family the tapes if Mia didn't act pleasant with him. She refused. I now understand her rapid behavior change. Mia disliked pretending to like Jake, but she was afraid of the tapes. I felt queasy listening to Mia's narrative. After hugging her, I apologized repeatedly for not trusting her and not witnessing what was happening there in front of me. I assured her I would fix things. Next day, Jake and I met in a coffee shop. Faced him with everything I knew. He initially denied everything, but when he discovered I had overheard his talk with Mia, he changed entirely. He was cold and calculated, unlike the sweet, gentle man I thought I knew. Jake claimed Mia had manipulated him and deserved what was coming to her. He even said we could resolve things if I ignored Maya. I hated it. I immediately broke our engagement and said I never wanted to see him again. I knew it wasn't enough. Jake had to pay for his actions. With Mia's approval, I reported Jake for child sexual harassment and blackmail to the police. We gave them all our proof, including Mia's covert recordings of Jake's threats. Police investigated our complaint. The videos Jake downloaded from Mia's old OnlyFans account were found on his devices. Multiple charges were filed against Jake after his arrest. We had a lawyer remove Mia's OnlyFans videos from the internet. The lawyer also helped us assure Mia wouldn't face legal ramifications for making the account while underage because she was tricked and blackmailed. Our family has struggled for weeks. My parents were devastated when they learned about Jake. Mia and I have their support, but I know they feel bad for not seeing through Jake's veneer. Jake's abuse and blackmail traumatized Mia, who is in therapy. Though it's a long path, she's already showing indications of reverting to the strong, vivacious child I remember. My brain is still absorbing things. I feel stupid for not realizing Jake's genuine nature, for ignoring Mia's first disdain. I'm mad at Jake for betraying my trust and hurting my sister, but I'm glad I found out before marrying him. This encounter bonded Mia and me. Trust is being restored by open communication. I've sworn to always believe her and support her. I've also been thinking about my conduct and preconceptions. I realized I was quick to ignore Mia's concerns since they didn't suit Jake's image. My goal is to listen more and not jump to conclusions. Thank you, Reddit, for supporting my original article. Even though I didn't understand them, your comments raised awareness of the red flags. My story should warn others to trust their instincts and listen to loved ones, even when it's hard. If you're in a similar circumstance, speak up. People and resources can help. Believe someone who tells you about harassment or abuse. Your help might make all the difference. I know the path ahead will be hard, but I'm glad Mia is safe and Jake can't hurt anyone else. Healing and repairing our family relationships is our daily focus. Thanks for letting me update you. I realize that open communication and trusting your intuition are crucial from this experience. Never dismiss that uneasy feeling, notwithstanding your inability to explain.